الرحمن الرحيم الصلاة والسلام على سيدنا محمد وعلى آله وصحبه وسلم تسليما كثيرا وبعد. سبحانك ربنا لا علم لنا إلا ما علمتنا إنك أنت العليم الحكيم. اللهم علمنا ما ينفعنا وانفعنا بما علمتنا وزدنا علما وعملا وإخلاصا وتواضعا يا رب العالمين. Inshallah, we continue with our Khawatir, but there is one sister who passed away. We'll make dua for her. اللهم اغفر لها وارحمها وأكرم نزلها ووسع مدخلها واغسلها بالماء والثلج والبرد ونقها من الذنوب والخطايا كما ينقى الثوب الأبيض من الدنس. اللهم ابدلها دارا خير من دارها وأهلا خير من أهلها. اللهم إن كانت محسنة فزد في إحسانها وإن كانت مسيئة فتجاوز عن سيئاتها. اللهم اجعل قبرها روضة من رياض الجنة. اللهم اجعل قبرها روضة من رياض الجنة. اللهم ارزق أهلها الصبر والسلوان. اللهم ارزق أهلها الصبر والسلوان. اللهم لا تفتنا بعدها ولا تحرمنا أجرها واغفر لنا ولها يا رب العالمين. So we are still talking about purifying ourselves, because subhanallah, this container called the heart, if it's full, there is nothing you can put. Nothing good will go in. So our job is to empty it first. And yesterday we've been talking about one of the first three problems that started on this earth. And we're talking about what? Arrogance. And we said that subhanallah, arrogance on Adam from Shaitan lead him to refuse the command of Allah. So he refused the command of Allah because he was arrogant on Adam. That's why, subhanAllah, when you read this verse, it shakes you. Ya Iblis, he told him, why did you refuse to bow to Adam when I commanded you? And it should be between you and me. I commanded you. Why you refused? And he tried to divert, by the way, the subject. And he said, I'm better than him because I was created from what? Fire. And he's created from? Clay. But this is not the question. ما منعك أن تسجد إذ أمرتك. I commanded you. It has nothing to do with your nature, his nature, or whatever. I commanded you. That tells you what the arrogance can do, my brothers and sisters. So before we go further, I want to give you homework. I hope all of you, you should have this book at home, Riyadus Salihin. You know Riyadus Salihin? Yes. It's an amazing book. No house should not have this book. And go to the chapter talking about arrogance and see the consequences of arrogance from Quran and Sunnah. And subhanAllah, when you go there, you're going to see what is the consequences of being arrogant. But what is different, what is unique, I want you to pay attention. You will not find why. Why is not addressed. Why it's not addressed? And I want you to pay attention here. It's very, very, very crucial issue here. Because when it comes to consequences, do and don't do, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and his prophet assuming talking to believers. And believers, they don't need to know what? Why? Because you are a Muslim, you are a believer. That's it. Now, I'm here to give you instructions. And in front of instruction, what should be your position? Sami'na wa ata'na. We hear and we obey. Move on. SubhanAllah, I just had a session of counseling. And I told, she said, why it's haram that a woman marry a non-Muslim man, Muslim woman. And be careful to start going into why, because you want to cater to the person. That is very weak argument. So what is the first question you need to address? Are you Muslim or not? Because if you are Muslim, Allah said so. And this is enough. I want you to remember this rule. The greatest wisdom between do and don't do is not what you hear people explaining to you. We don't eat pork because what? And now you know that, mashallah, this answer. But we used to tell people what? Because he carried a virus, he did that. All these are true. I'm not saying that. Because somebody might argue with you and say, what about if the medicine or science get advanced and they can get rid of that stuff? Can you eat it still? Why? Aywa. Always. I'm doing this because Allah said, do it. I am not doing it because Allah said, that is the greatest wisdom. Because don't let people decide the wisdom for Allah. Yani Allah gave the order and I have to explain to you why. Does not mean there is no wisdom. I want you to understand what I'm talking about. That's why when Ibrahim alayhi salam asked Allah, قال رب أريني كيف تحيي الموتى. Ya Allah, show me how you give life to dead people. What was the answer? قال ولم تؤمن. Are you a believer or what? Let's establish this. Of course, Ibrahim is a believer, but Allah is teaching us through Ibrahim. This is not for Ibrahim. So I want you to understand this. Don't go further, especially with the youth and so on, because they're going to take you in another area that they are expert, and you will be defeated. Because they are expert in that area. And why they are expert? Because shaitan comes in that area. But when you tell the person, are you Muslim? And what does it mean a Muslim? Somebody who surrender and submit. And we are Muslim not because of blind, we are blind. No. Because Islam is the area of practice. And there is another area before it, is called the area of belief. In the area of belief, you have the right to ask any question. Why God has the right to tell me what to do and not what to do? You have the right to ask this question, and you need to get the answer. Because belief should be through conviction, not through compulsion. But once you believe in that and you come to the conclusion that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is knowledgeable, is wise, is this, and you believe in that, then he starts telling you do and don't do. Why? There is contradiction here. And we don't do this with each other, by the way. When you want to go to a doctor, you do your homework. You Google him, you ask about him, whatever, and you find he's qualified. You go to the doctor, and he will tell you, open your mouth. Do you say why? You have to convince me that I need to open my mouth. Please, would you open your mouth? Then he asks you second question, take off your shirt. Why? You know what he's going to tell you? What he's going to say? Get out. That is an offense. If that is with a human being that can make a mistake with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So I'm taking advantage of this. So when you go, you are a Muslim. You are a believer. I want to know the consequences. Because I don't know the consequences. Because it's from the unseen. The why, you will find it. SubhanAllah. After you submit, you start understanding. وَاتَّقُوا اللَّهِ وإيش؟ وَيُعَلِّمُكُمُ اللَّهِ. When you surrender, you start seeing the wisdom. SubhanAllah, you will be surprised. Wow. You have to surrender. If you don't surrender, Allah will not open the windows of understanding for you. You will not know anything. سأصرف عن آياتي الذين يتكبرون بغير الحق. The arrogant people, they will never understand. You might find a common person understanding, and you find somebody with knowledge doesn't understand. So this Khatera today, because it's very profound, and that's why you see people, some people, mashallah, Allah give them the knowledge, and so not because no, because you surrender. What is my knowledge comparing to the knowledge of Allah? To ask him why, I need to understand. Do the homework before. Why the Prophet is a Prophet? Why I need to follow the Prophet? Why? All this in the 6 pillars of Iman. Because the 6 pillars of Iman, the goals of the 6 pillars of faith is to answer the questions. Islam, you surrender, submit. That's it. Allah say that's it. And what is the problem of the Muslims today? Why? And this is maybe it works 1400 years ago. It doesn't work now or this. So that's why Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, you don't deserve my help. So you read the consequences, you will be surprised of arrogance in this life and in the hereafter. Now we're gonna embark on what caused arrogance and so on. Because Allah, He wants us also to use our mind because He gives us ideas. There are 7 things that make a person arrogant. No more than that. 2, and this is the worst thing, is arrogance in the religion, by the way. Be careful, be careful, be careful. When you start practicing, it's easy to become arrogant. And arrogance of the religion is worse than the arrogance of the dunya, as we're going to see. When it comes to become arrogance in the religion, is 2 things. And a religious person, he becomes arrogant because either he has what? Knowledge of the religion. And subhanAllah, if the person doesn't be careful, and knowledge make him arrogant. And he start looking at everybody down and this, and he start I. And where is the problem with this person? He started seeking the knowledge in the wrong way. He was not purified. The intention was not clean. There is no sincerity, there is no nothing, there is no that. That's why I'm going to say something. Maybe it's time to address it. Sometimes people, they said, well, nobody asked me to lead the prayer and so on, and I memorized the whole Quran. Well, that's why you memorize the whole Quran. Memorizing the Quran is for whom? Then for yourself. Memorizing the Quran is the greatest gift. That's why, subhanAllah, the scholar said, we wonder somebody who memorized the Quran, where is he in the night prayer? The last third of the night is not for everybody. It's for people who memorize the Quran. That's why you memorize the Quran, for that. Not for something else. If people ask you to lead or this, that is secondary to you. So the person didn't go through tazkiyah, purification. That's why I told you, and to myself, وَيُزَكِّيهِمْ وَيُعَلِّمُهُمُ الْكِتَابِ. Purification. Why I'm seeking knowledge? Why I want knowledge? And the true knowledge has one sign. And I will stop here. There is one test for the true knowledge. If somebody has it, he's a true scholar. He's a godly scholar. And what is this sign? Huh? You are close. The fear of Allah. إنما يخشى الله من عباده العلماء. إنما يخشى الله. Be careful. If you read إنما يخشى الله من عباده العلماء, you went out of Islam. Because like you are saying, Allah fear the scholars. إنما يخشى الله من عباده إيش؟ العلماء. There is one thing that is not mentioned, but it's there. العلماء به. Those who knows Allah, they fear Allah. In any field, by the way, any field. So, if the person who has the knowledge doesn't fear Allah, early Muslim, they don't call him scholar. They called him something else. Yeah, but not scholar. Because the scholar, إِنَّمَا يَخْشَى اللَّهَ مِنْ عِبَادِهِ الْعُلَمَاءُ. So that is the first thing when it comes to the deen. The second thing, and we'll talk about it tomorrow, inshallah, what comes after the knowledge in the deen is the ibadah, the practice. You start praying, mashallah, more fasting. It's easy to become arrogant. And you start thinking you are better than anybody else. And everybody is doomed except you. So these are the two things of the deen. And the other 5 is the dunya. And I want you, please do this homework. Go and read the chapter in Riyadh Salihin about arrogance. Because this is a problem that prevents the person to go to Jannah. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala clean our heart from arrogance. And may Allah give us humility. May Allah give us humility. And may Allah give us His fear. May Allah give us His fear. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala forgive us for our arrogance. And may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala help us to stay in the future very humble and humiliated. آمين. أقول قولي هذا واستغفر الله لي ولكم فاستغفروه إنه هو الغفور الرحيم.